Take one.
This is take one of Randal giving his mama Cleo
Them little cameras
recipe
only do
of
like
the
5-minute little videos, and
Okay.
this is a 40-minute story.
No, it's not a 40-minute story. We're gonna talk faster than we used to do.
We're gonna condense it.
Yes, we're gonna talk faster.
You can't do that.
You can't condense the cake because
Hang on to the cake. Hang on to the cake.
But this is Mama's secret
Push forward.
recipe.
All right, here we go. Start with
To make a wonderful pound cake, you gotta have 3 sticks of margarine, preferably Land O'Lakes margarine. You gotta have.
Lakes margarine. I thought it was Blue Barn.
I done made an improvement.
Okay.
I done made an improvement.
All right, you're adding time.
A little square of Philadelphia cream cheese.
How much is for that
Need
big?
like cut one.
That's one of them little 8
One in a box.
ounces, little box, little small box. And don't substitute that because that stuff will ruin it if you get that off-brand Sam stuff. It'll kill it. Because we done tried that. 3 cups of sugar and 3 cups of all-purpose flour. It can't be self-rising because that will make an absolute mess. I can tell you, I done been there and it will. So.
He's nervous.
Oh, 8 jumbo eggs. Forgot them eggs. You gotta have some hen fruits in there. So don't forget the hen fruits. You gotta have 8 of them. Separate them eggs. You want the yolks in one place and the whites in another place.
And why is that?
Because I do them one at a time, because then if I mess up, then I can straighten that back out. Because you're going to beat these whites separate and fluff them up into one of them little fluffy white.
Fluff it back.
Yeah, make them right fluffy.
Thanks, John. Fluffified, that's good.
And so you're going to fluffify that egg whites to start with. That's step 1. Do that so you can set that bowl aside and then use the same beater on the thing to blend your butter and your cream cheese. And once they're blended real nice, you're going to add them 3 cups of sugar. Make that nice and fluffified too, and get it all stirred up and the sugar dissolved real well. Once that's done, them egg yolks from them 8 eggs that you busted a while ago, add them about one at a time, or no faster than they'll throw out of the bowl. So you want to try to keep them all in the bowl, so one at a time usually works pretty good. Stir that up really good, and when all of that's creamified, you add 3 cups of flour. And then you got to add, about that time after all that's fluffified.
Wait, do you add that flour like all at one time or a little bit at a time?
If you add it all at one time, you're going to have flour everywhere in your kitchen. So I get a little, they tell you 1 cup at a time. I don't do that. I shake it in a little bowl and kind of shake it when it looks wet like it ain't going to fly out. Or if it starts flying, I stop. And I add some little more. So get it all in there and get it wet real good. And then you can turn that mix up some, you know, so it don't throw everywhere and you got it all wet. But then you got to add just flavors. You got to have some vanilla flavoring about. You pour it in there till there's a good little pond on one side over there, you know, a little small pond on one side of the thing. And then you got to have some Happy Home butternut flavoring. Now you can only find that online or at your local farmer's market or produce stand or whatever. So you add that in there, about the same little puddle. Now my mama, she always put it in there one time. I put the vanilla in and stir it up and get it out the way, so when I add that red looking nut, I can tell how big that pond is, because if I mix the vanilla pond with the other pond, then I don't know how much I got. Yeah, then I got a lake, and I don't know whether it's the right size or not. Stir that all up real good and get that blended fine, and then it's time to go back to them egg whites that you set over there on the side and fold them into the other ingredients. Now, some folks don't agree with this, but I found swap them bowls again and put that bowl of egg whites that's fluffed up back in that mixer. And then start slowly adding the heavy ingredients into the egg whites and keep that mix on low, and you don't have to do all that hand folding that you would have to do the other way. It takes forever with that. So you just keep pouring that in there on top of them light ingredients, and they keep incorporating. When it gets good, whip that up one time real good and pour that into a one-piece tube pan
You
that's
forgot
been well.
salt. You forgot the salt.
I always forget that salt except when I do it.
Thanks, Mama. You always forget
You gotta have
that
about
ingredient.
that much salt right there in the egg whites when you beat them up.
That would be a quarter of
That-
a teaspoon.
Maybe a half a teaspoon.
Oh, that much?
Yeah, quarter to a half, depending on kind of how much salt you had in
I
there.
can't criticize. I've been waiting for that.
And put that in a well baking pan thing. And make sure now, this is where most folks mess up. They pour that cake batter, and this is with any cake. You pour that cake batter in one side of that cake pan, and when your cake is done, it's got a little cut in it just like you cut it with a knife. That's because when that stuff runs around that pan, it forces that oil in that pan straight up, and it will actually cook a crease right in that cake right there. So you got to go around there and put little daubs around that pan till it's well covered all the way around. Then you can pour it all in and spread it out pretty good. Put that in a 300-degree oven for an hour 30, hour and 40 minutes. I like to see it about 200, 205 internal temperature on the instant read thermometer. And then after that, you dump that thing out and let it cool, and it's fit to eat. And if you really want it good, put some sweet pickle juice on it. And that's how you make a pound cake.